Thank you for registering for the Tobacco Retailer Certification Program. This training video is designed to assist you in complying with local, state, and federal tobacco laws and regulations. This certification is required for anyone selling tobacco products in your town. The certification is valid for 3 years for you to remain in compliance. Throughout this program, we're going to talk about a wide variety of topics. We're going to start with a brief introduction followed by a series of program chapters. Throughout this training video, you will be prompted with questions to gauge your knowledge. The Tobacco Awareness Program of the Berkshires was created in 1994 through grant funding provided by the Department of Public Health. The program is administered by the Tritown Health Department, and the health district is located in the Berkshires. Many activities are provided through grant funding. The Retailer Training Program is a local requirement in many towns that is not supported by grant funding. Our program activities include community education around all types of tobacco products and prevention of secondhand smoke in the community, as well as health effects associated with tobacco products. We conduct routine tobacco compliance checks where we hire youth under the age of 21, and they are trained and certified through the local, state, and FDA programs. Program staff also conducts retail stores signage checks where local and state laws mandate that signage be in place in every retail establishment selling tobacco. The program works to have a collaborative effort between regulators, municipalities, and the retail stores to ensure compliance is met. In most cases, signage is free and available to all stores through your local Board of Health or tobacco program. We also conduct pricing surveys. In the state of Massachusetts, the Department of Revenue establishes the minimum pricing requirements for tobacco products, and part of the inspection we provide is working with the retail store to inventory tobacco products to assess the price and tax to ensure compliance is met. We also provide technical support to local towns that are looking to update and/or create local regulations. Lastly, we promote and educate the community at large on the dangers of tobacco use and exposure to secondhand smoke, including the health risks associated with vaping. Prior to 2007, there wasn't a local or state requirement mandating retailer training. Illegal sales of tobacco products to minors continued to increase exponentially in many communities. Stores were losing thousands of dollars in revenue due to permit suspension. Store clerks were then terminated. After the implementation of the training program, illegal tobacco sales to minors have decreased by over 70%. Since 2007, over 6,000 clerks have been certified. Question number 1. What types of inspections do local tobacco awareness programs conduct? A. Compliance checks. B. Merchant education. C. Pricing surveys. D. All of the above. Answer: all of the above. Chapter 2. Health consequences of smoking and secondhand smoke. In Chapter 2, we will go over the health effects of smoking and also the health effects of secondhand smoke and e-cigarettes, also known as vaping. Only a portion of the tobacco inside a cigarette comes from the leaf of the tobacco plant. The reconstituted tobacco is made from the pulp of mashed tobacco stems and other parts of the leaf that would otherwise go to waste. Manufacturers spray the tobacco paper with nicotine and other substances lost during the process, along with as many as 600 other chemicals. Smoked cigarette emits hundreds of poisons, toxins, and carcinogens, cancer-causing agents. There are over 200 poisons in cigarette smoke, including arsenic, which is rat poisoning, butane, which is lighter fluid, methane, which is sewer gas, ammonia, which is toilet cleaner, carbon monoxide, which is car exhaust, and acetone, a nail varnish remover. Be aware that when you smoke, there are many other poisons. It's not just nicotine and not just tobacco coming from that cigarette. Here are some of the health risks of vaping. Vaping amongst our youth and young adult population has grown to epidemic proportions. Science shows that e-cigarettes contain ingredients that are addictive and could harm different parts of your body. E-cigarettes contain chemicals that are harmful. When people use e-cigarettes, they breathe in tiny particles that can harm their lungs. Many e-cigarettes contain nicotine, and using nicotine can change your brain to make you crave more nicotine. It can also affect your memory and concentration. The effects of nicotine exposure during youth and young adulthood can be long-lasting and can include lower impulse control and mood disorders. We know smoking causes cancer, death, respiratory disease, and cardiovascular disease. Let's review what that means. Some of the adverse health effects from smoking account for an estimated 443,000 deaths each year in the United States. Smoking harms nearly every organ of the body, and smoking causes an estimated 90% of all lung cancer deaths in men and 80% in women. An estimated 90% of all deaths from chronic obstructive lung disease are caused by smoking. Question: vaping does not cause any health risks. True or false? The answer is false. When compared with non-smokers, smoking is estimated to increase the risk of coronary heart disease by 2 to 4 times. Men smoking are at risk of developing lung cancer by 23 times, and women developing lung cancer by 13 times. Chapter 3. Applicable laws and penalties. We'll go over Local Board of Health regulations, Massachusetts general laws, Massachusetts Attorney General regulations, existing and new Food and Drug Administration regulations, and the enforcement and proper signage requirements. Please be aware that retailers must comply with all laws. Slide 2. It's really important that you contact your local municipality to determine what regulations are in place. In Massachusetts, each Board of Health can have differing types of regulations. Each town may differ, and it's really important that the retailer comply with all laws due to requirements being amended routinely. Anyone selling tobacco products must complete the Certified Tobacco Retailer training. Other examples of local regulations that may have been passed in your community include minimum packaging of cigars, setback distance from school, capping of permits, banning flavored rolling papers and hemp products, and many others. What laws must a retailer comply with when selling tobacco products? A. Massachusetts state law. B. Local Board of Health regulations. C. Mass Attorney General regulations. D. All of the above. The answer is all of the above. Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 270, Section 6 reads, "No person shall sell or provide a tobacco product as defined to anyone under the legal sale age." The definition of tobacco is explained in detail in this training, and there also may be a definition in your local regulations. Communities in Massachusetts that do not have local regulations must at least comply with the state law. Remember, state law requires that you be 21 to purchase tobacco. Effective June 1st, 2020, the sale of flavored, combustible cigarettes and other tobacco products, including menthol cigarettes and flavored chewing tobacco, will be restricted to licensed smoking bars, where they may be sold only for on-site consumption. Stores must have documentation from the manufacturer of each product that demonstrates compliance with content. Records must be on-site. Under new penalties, sales to a person under 21 or other violations of the law are subject to very high fines, starting at a minimum of $1,000 for the first fine for an underage sale $2,000 for the second fine, and so on. A mandatory store suspension of a tobacco permit is required for a minimum of 1 day and up to 30 days for the first violation that involves a sale to a minor. Mass Attorney General regulations require that store clerks must verify the age of any customer buying tobacco that looks under the age of 27. The sale of individual cigarettes, otherwise known as the sale of loosies, is prohibited. Tobacco products must be sold face-to-face. Self-service displays are prohibited. Self-service displays are tobacco products that are easily accessible or within reach to the consumer. When you shop at a retail store, you should see all the products behind the counter and out of reach. If you are within reach of a tobacco product, that's considered a self-service display, and it is illegal. It must be corrected in order to maintain compliance. Recently, the Attorney General amended their regulations to also include the requirement of a secret shopper program for any retailer with 6 or more employees and a mandatory training program for any retailers with 5 or fewer employees. They must require nicotine-containing liquids to be packaged in accordance with federal standards, prohibit online sales unless a legible photocopy of a valid government ID is provided, and bans sampling or offering giveaways, coupon redemption of any kind. Question: you must check the ID of a customer wishing to purchase a tobacco product that looks under the age of A, 16 years of age, B, 21 years of age, C, 18 years of age, or D, 27 years of age. The answer is 27 years of age. In accordance with the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, regulations, as of September 22, 2009, all retailers cannot sell flavored cigarette products. If these products are still available in your store, they need to be removed. Please note that this law is only for flavored cigarettes. As of July 22, 2010, manufacturers may not distribute for sale any tobacco products labeled or advertised as light, low, mild, or similar descriptors. Local, state, and federal jurisdictions have enforcement authority to monitor compliance with the laws regulating the sales of tobacco products to minors. During local tobacco compliance checks, should a failed check occur, the local tobacco program will inform store owners by phone and written verification. State compliance checks will be reported to the local program and then to the store. If you are unsure if you have a local tobacco program in your community, you should contact your local Board of Health or the Mass Department of Public Health. They have an active list of every municipality in the Commonwealth that is serviced by a local tobacco program. FDA compliance checks will be reported to the local program and store. FDA compliance checks will be sent directly to store owners and the local Board of Health. Boards of Health will follow up with any corrective action if necessary. Tip: certified tobacco sales clerks are required to understand that it is their responsibility to uphold all local, state, and federal laws. If rules and regulations are not followed, consequences may occur. Massachusetts Smoke-Free Workplace Law Rule. Statewide law passed in July 2004, banning smoking in all public buildings and spaces. In addition, new laws have also banned vaping in public places, beginning December 2018. Inspections and complaints are conducted by local and state authorities to monitor compliance. Boards of Health will follow up with any corrective action if necessary. Fines may range from $100 to $300. If you're caught selling tobacco products to minors, you may be fined. You may lose your license to sell tobacco, and the store can also be fined. The store may also lose their license to sell tobacco. Selling tobacco to minors without confirming age is a very serious matter. some employers terminate clerks that are caught selling tobacco products to minors. Here is a chart provided by the Department of Public Health on what signs are required in Mass. Copies can be found on the mass.gov website. Question: local boards of health conduct and enforce the following: A, compliance checks, B, pricing surveys, C, retail signage inspections, D, all of the above. The answer is all of the above. Chapter 4, Written Policies and How to Comply. In Chapter 4, we will be discussing store policies and how to comply with all laws, cooperating with local and state programs, employee education, proper record keeping, and how to stay informed. Store policy should include good, sound hiring practices that incorporate the mandated retailer training. Part of the store training, in addition to the online training, should be to conduct real-life scenarios, to see how employees react to live situations, and to ensure they are comfortable. Never be afraid to ask for assistance from a coworker or store manager. Place additional store signage to remind staff on how to comply. And when in doubt, contact your local Board of Health for assistance in ensuring compliance. Local boards of health and state inspectors conduct routine inspections, and having an open line of communication is key to success. Many inspectors work diligently to educate stores to ensure compliance. Other inspections include pricing surveys, inspections to ensure all clerks selling tobacco are certified, and ongoing merchant education inspections. Inspections are conducted by boards of health, the State Department of Public Health, and the FDA. The best way to achieve compliance is to do your part. Participate, educate, and get certified by the retailer training program. Although many towns mandate the training, it is accessible to any location that has internet access. It's the right thing to do in an effort to keep tobacco out of youth's hands. Ensure proper record-keeping techniques in your establishments and have all clerk certifications readily available. Stay informed on any changes to laws to ensure all staff are trained. When in doubt, contact your local Board of Health for any updates. Question 1. Stores should incorporate good policies by doing what? A, mandated training. B, retail signage. C, additional training. Or D, all of the above. The answer is D, all of the above. Question 2. Who conducts routine store tobacco inspections? A, local boards of health. B, parents and friends. C, nobody. D, store managers. The answer is A, local boards of health. Chapter 5, Types of Tobacco Products. In Chapter 5, we will be discussing varying types of tobacco products. We will first learn what the definition of a tobacco product is, learn about various tobacco products, and discuss some of the emerging and trending tobacco products on the market today. The amended definition of tobacco is any product containing, made or derived from tobacco or nicotine that is intended for human consumption, whether smoked, chewed, absorbed, dissolved, inhaled, snorted, sniffed, or ingested by any other means, including but not limited to cigarettes, cigars, little cigars, chewing tobacco, pipe tobacco, snuff, or electronic cigarettes, electronic cigars, electronic pipes, electronic hookah, liquid nicotine, e-liquids, or other similar products, regardless of nicotine content, that rely on vaporization or aerosolization. These are examples of tobacco products. Perhaps these were the only types that you saw 10 to 15 years ago. Some of the classics are Marlboro, Newport, and Camel packs, and can be recognized by their popular red, green, and gold coloring. They now also include e-cigarettes, vaping products, liquid nicotine, non-nicotine liquids, rolling papers, and many others. Here is a reminder of what classic tobacco products look like. Here are some examples of other tobacco products. This exercise is meant to show you the differing types of products, their color, and how they are packaged to mimic candy and gum products. Question: a pack of Camel cigarettes is considered a tobacco product. True or false? The answer is true. Let's review more examples of other tobacco products. Due to the tobacco industry, tactics such as pricing, trendy flavoring, and hip packaging, there is a wide range of availability of such products like blunt wraps, tipped cigars, snus, and dissolvable tobacco. They are on the rise among youth and young adults. If you have tobacco products and candy products behind the counter and right next to each other, it's really hard to tell the difference between the two. Make sure you know your tobacco products. If you have been out of work for a period of time, be certain to get reacclimated to your environment. See if new products are being sold, where they are located, and that you recognize them properly. E-cigarettes, also known as vape pens or vaping, are metal devices that resemble a cigarette but do not use tobacco. Electricity vaporizes liquid nicotine solution, and then the vapor is inhaled. E-cigarettes may contain ingredients that are known to be toxic to humans and may contain other ingredients that may not be safe. These types of products are high in nicotine levels and are untested for quality control and safety. A full package may contain enough nicotine to kill a small child if chewed or swallowed all at once. Their use could lead to first use of tobacco by minors. Clerks may not recognize these as tobacco, and you may inadvertently sell to minors. So take measures to review the packaging, be aware of them, know what's in your store, and be educated that these are tobacco products, even if they're not a conventional type of tobacco that you usually sell. Additionally, these products may be attractive to young people and may lead kids to try other tobacco products, including conventional cigarettes, all of which are known to cause diseases and lead to premature death. In accordance with the FDA, e-cigarettes are not an FDA-approved quit smoking device. Question: an example of a tobacco product would be A, rolling papers, B, chewing tobacco, C, Arriva dissolvable tobacco pieces, D, Newport cigarettes, E, all of the above. The answer is all of the above. Chapter 6, Age Verification Techniques. In Chapter 6, we will be discussing age verification techniques. We will also discuss valid forms of identification, fake IDs, practice age calculations, and tips on how to verify buyers 21 and older. Lastly, we will offer some advice to ensure compliance. Legal forms of identification are issued by state or federal government and must include a photo ID. In Massachusetts, there are 6 valid forms of ID that are acceptable, including the new requirement that will be needed by 2020 called Real ID cards. Let's review the forms of identification that are valid in Massachusetts. Let's review the valid forms of identification that are valid in Massachusetts. They are Massachusetts driver's license, the new Real ID card, out-of-state driver's license, state-issued identification card. This is what a Massachusetts driver's license looks like. It is really important as we go through these identification types that they may change from time to time, so please stay current on any new types of ID. On the right, you will see examples of a driver's license that is horizontal for people over the age of 21. On the left, you will see an example of an ID that is vertical for those that are under the age of 21. The new Real ID cards that will be able to be used for federal IDs. State-issued identification cards are again horizontal for those over the age of 21 and vertical for those that are under the age of 21. Out-of-state ID cards may have several variations. It's really important that you understand and recognize what is a valid form of ID and to further recognize where the important dates are located. The red box on each ID in this example highlights the different locations. It is important to ask for that ID and then verify the proper age of anyone that looks under the age of 27. Take your time and find that date of birth. Then calculate the age to confirm that it is above 21. Here is an example of what a military ID may look like. And if you take a look at this example, you'll notice that you won't see a date of birth on the front. However, you can see an issue date and you'll see an expiration date. Many military IDs will have the birth date on the reverse side. It's important to turn over that ID to find the date of birth. It's really important to examine the passport, especially if it's in a foreign language that you don't speak or understand. Make sure you ask questions and confirm the birth date and that the passport is valid and not expired. An expired ID is not a valid ID. Review this slide. Which are valid forms of ID that are acceptable? Here are the valid forms of ID we reviewed in this chapter. It's really important to have the knowledge and resources to quickly identify a fake ID. Look for bumpy edges, glue lines, or peeled lamination. Check the reverse side lettering. Look for blurred lettering and thickness of license. Does the photo match the customer, or does the photo have red eyes? It may be missing a seal or logo. Most states have a specified logo that can't be tampered with. You may need to ask the person to remove their license from their wallet or purse to get a closer look. You have a right to ask them to remove their ID from a wallet or purse. Temporary paper licenses or IDs or paper copies or duplicates are not acceptable. Question: what are the acceptable forms of identification? A, driver's license or real ID. B, military identification card. C, passport. Or D, all of the above. The answer is all of the above. Here is a tool to quickly calculate if someone is over the age of 21. Please note, there are many examples, but here is one of the many. For this exercise, we will pretend today's date is May 8th, 2024. Minus 20 years, May 8th, 2004. Subtract one more year, May 8th, 2003. This is the date your customer must be born on or before. Remember, minus 20 years, and then minus one more year. Let's try another exercise. If today's date is October 13th, 2024, and the customer's birth date from passport is October 28th, 2006, is this person old enough to buy a pack of strawberry-flavored Philly cigars? Remember, today's date minus 20 years, then minus one more year. Is this person born on or before October 13th, 2003? The answer is no. This person is not able to purchase tobacco products as their birth date is after October 13th, 2003. Question: If today's date is October 13th, 2024, and the customer's birth date from a college ID states October 28th, 2002, is it okay to sell this person a pack of strawberry-flavored Philly cigars? A, yes, this person is 21 or older. B, no, this person is not old enough. C, I must refuse the sale because this is not a valid form of photo identification. The answer is C. I must refuse the sale because this is not a valid form of photo identification. The acceptable forms of photo identification that may be used to verify age are A. Library card, B. Video membership, C. Credit card, D. None of the above. The answer is none of the above. Chapter 7, Refusing a Sale. In Chapter 7, we will discuss tips on how to refuse a sale. We will review that checking IDs is a two-step process, how youth outsmarts a clerk, and how to be safe while still complying with laws. We discussed a lot of tips so far in the training, but other ways to ensure compliance include the use of calendars to assist with age calculation. Utilize reminder stickers, signage, or other materials to help as a reminder. Many stores have an automated scanner that may calculate the age for you. Remember, it's a two-step process on how to verify the proper age. Step 1, ask and verify. And step 2, calculate the age. Dealing with irate and confrontational customers is always difficult, regardless if they are trying to purchase tobacco. Use good judgment and present confidence. Get a coworker or manager to assist. Point to the mandatory signage and refer the customer to it. Lastly, a single sale of tobacco is not worth your life, your safety, or your job. You have to do your best to comply with laws, but not at the risk of your safety. How do youth outsmart store clerks? Here are some actual testimonials from youth that have been able to illegally purchase tobacco. We carry car keys when buying. And I lost my license, so give me a break. And we lie about our age. Other testimonials include, the other clerk always sells them to me. And lastly, we become regulars. The takeaway point is that youth will do whatever it takes to purchase tobacco, and all the information you have reviewed up to this point should allow you all the necessary knowledge and resources needed to ensure proper compliance. Question: what is the two-step process to verifying an age of a buyer? A. Verify ID and calculate. B. Subtract 10 and add 15. C. Guess the age and sell. D. Don't ask for an ID. The answer is verify ID and calculate. Question: a single sale is worth losing your job. True or false? The answer is false. Chapter 8, Statistics. In Chapter 8, we will review some basic statistics regarding tobacco use and associated health issues. The content we'll be discussing is tobacco and health, youth and tobacco, local community data, and tobacco sales rates to youth. Massachusetts spends $4.3 billion on healthcare costs every year associated with tobacco. In the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, 10% of all healthcare costs are attributed to smoking. Smoking is the #1 case of preventable death and disease in the United States, killing over 400,000 people per year. Over 90% of adult smokers started smoking before the age of 18. Each day in the United States, approximately 3,800 youth smoke their first cigarette. Three out of 4 teenage smokers have tried to quit at least once, but failed. Question. Blank is the #1 cause of preventable death in the United States, killing over 400,000 people per year. A, smoking, B, cancer, C, obesity, D, heart disease. The answer is A, smoking. Over blank percent of adult smokers started smoking before the age of 18. A, 20%, B, 100%, C, 50%, or D, 90%. The answer is D, 90%. Welcome to Chapter 9, where we will review quit smoking resources. You are almost done, so hang in there. We're going to talk about quit smoking resources. We are going to discuss when and how tobacco treatment works, what happens when you quit smoking, and types of tobacco treatment resources. Tobacco treatment does work, and here is what the clinical interventions say. Experts say there is no difference in effectiveness between group and individual counseling and proactive telephone counseling. The use of self-help material by themselves are not effective. For patients, it is a matter of finding what the right service is or combination of services that will be most effective for them. The more intense the treatment intervention, the greater the success rate. Your chances of successfully quitting doubles if you couple counseling and nicotine replacement therapy, i.e., patches, gum, lozenges, etc. If and when you decide to quit smoking, here are some things that happen. After a smoker quits, short-term benefits are: after 20 minutes, your heart rate and blood pressure drop. After 12 hours, the carbon monoxide level in your blood goes to normal. After a week, smell and taste are enhanced. 2 to 3 months later, lung function increases up to 30%. After 1 to 9 months, fatigue diminishes. After smokers quit, here are the long-term benefits. After 1 year, the excess risk of coronary heart disease is half that of a continuing smoker. After 5 years, the risk of cancer of the mouth, throat, esophagus, and bladder are cut in half. Stroke risks can fall to that of a non-smoker in 2 to 5 years. After 10 years, risk of dying from lung cancer is about half that of a person who is still smoking. After 15 years, the risk of coronary heart disease is that of a non-smoker. Here are some additional resources to help. 1-800-QUIT-NOW. There is also a wealth of information on these websites, also available in Spanish and other languages, hearing impaired, TTY. You can also call the Quit Tip line for a new tip each and every day. Whatever resource makes the best sense to you is the best one to go with. We do know that coupling counseling with nicotine replacement therapy is the best strategy. Question. Chances of successfully quitting doubles if you couple counseling and nicotine replacement therapy. True or false? The answer is true. Question. Quitting smoking is easy. True or false? The answer is false.